Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay Stein, the consumer reporter with PR Week, and today I'm joined by Will Seckham, the CMO of Visit Florida. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Florida has a bunch of exciting things coming up, the 500th anniversary of the state.
500 years, our goal, or our vision at Visit Florida is to establish Florida as the #1 travel destination in the world. And we've got a pretty good head start. People have been visiting for 500 years, ever since Juan Ponce de Leon arrived in St. Augustine, the first people to step foot in North America.
Awesome. And since Florida is such a diverse state, compared to North Florida to Miami, the demographics are completely different. How do you market to all of these different types of demographic?
It is huge, and when you think about a state with 19 million people, a state that gets nearly 86 million visitors a year, there's more people visiting the state of Florida on any given day than live in 15 U.S. states.
Wow.
So it is a big challenge, and so you have to be pretty thoughtful about it. There's a couple avenues that we've really chosen to address, and the biggest idea is that we all still love stories. And storytelling is what inspires people to want to travel and to explore new things. We're fortunate in the state of Florida to have 825 miles of the most beautiful beaches in the world and the theme park capital of the world. I mean, there's no place in the world that has the level of tourism product and attractions as Florida does. But you still have to reach out and make sure we're getting 86 million people. So we tell a lot of stories. We've hired a new editor that spent 26 years as an editor at the St. Pete Times, and he's now helping us acquire professionally written travel content, videos, articles, photo essays, and we're getting incredibly well done work. And I think really between the content that is being created on that end and our Florida Insiders, which are 9 professional journalists, bloggers, question answerers that are out on social media and creating and producing their own content, I'm pretty sure that Visit Florida is producing more travel-related content than any of the travel magazines that are out there right now.
Since you are a Gulf state, how do you kind of change that perception of being one of the states that was involved in the BP oil spill?
It's an amazingly challenging period for tourism and for the state of Florida. Again, Florida tourism is the #1 industry in the state. Employs nearly a little bit over 1 million Floridians right now. So it's not only a huge economic impact to the state, but it employs a lot of people, and a lot of people's livelihoods are at stake with the tourism industry. And the BP oil spill certainly threatened that. From a PR side, it was a true case study in understanding the power of information. And the fact is, for an entire summer, we all were glued to the TV and watching that visual image of oil pumping into the Gulf. And 96% of Americans were following that story very closely.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as a result of that, they all had some serious misperceptions of what happened. A huge percent of Americans thought that, well-informed Americans thought there was oil in Jacksonville, which couldn't be further away. So we had a big misperception challenge that hurt us. And for the first time in many years, we lost some market share as a result.
And did Ketchum help? Because I know you brought them on for Crisis.
Ketchum was fantastic. They came on board and helped guide the crisis team. But I'll tell you, as I look back on it, and we've now just come out of a record year. So last year was a record year for Florida tourism. As we look back, many of the lessons that were learned as a result of that we are continuing to operate with are now kind of really a part of our DNA, and it's really powerful marketing stuff. So while I would never want to go back to the days of the oil spill, some of the things that came out of it were incredibly positive. And those are pretty simple. It's letting consumers tell the story. It's not trying to guide the messages. It's recognizing that Florida's a massive state and telling the story on a local basis. One of the biggest home runs that came out of our marketing response to the spill was a thing called Florida Live. And we launched that about 7 days after we kind of went into our emergency mode. And it was a way to capture live webcams from around the state.
Wow.
So travelers could see with their own eyes that the beaches were still clean.
Right.
While there was that oil in the Gulf, it was not impacting. We were really fortunate to not have the impact.
It's a smart way to engage with consumers in a
They got to see it
way.
at the local. You got to see all these miles of beaches that were people enjoying it and having fun. We let the local destinations provide their information because the impacts in Pensacola were very different from that in Key West and even in Jacksonville. But they were all negatively impacted by the news, but how they wanted to respond was very, very different. So that side did that, and then we allowed people to upload photos on a real-time basis. And it became a really, really powerful tool that's now kind of totally integrated throughout the site.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to some exciting campaigns for the 500th anniversary.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to Viva Florida, the 500-year celebration of Florida tourism.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.